What's up, nerds? We're your hosts this week. I am Jake.
And I am Chad.
This week we are sponsored by Ray's Energy Drinks.
We are also sponsored by Crybaby Craig's Hot Sauce.
This week, well, there's just been a lot of stuff going on in the nerd realm, so we're going to try and keep it kind of confined to just a couple topics. So this week we're going to be talking about the latest episode of Miss Marvel on Disney+.
We will also be talking about Thor, Love and Thunder. Now in theaters. Missed that part.
All right.
So let's get into it. This is the All Things Nerd podcast. Oh, sorry, my camera's up.
Nerd. Welcome back, nerds, to the All Things Nerd podcast, your weekly dive into all things nerd. So, Jake, how was your week this week?
It's been busy. We are, as you know, we're throwing a party here, this coming weekend.
Wasn't even invited. I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
Just
but we've been just kicking ass doing yard work. One of a couple things that have driven me nuts about this place since we moved in is they had a fire. They had a fire pit in the weirdest. You've seen it in the weirdest fucking spot, and it was like cockeyed and like just garbage,
Ten-
garbage.
15
And-
feet from the house, like 8
Yeah.
feet from the patio. So, like, you couldn't comfortably sit people all the way around it.
Yeah, it was in the weirdest spot. And so I've been wanting to demolish that fucking thing and build a nice one. And so I finally got around to it. You saw pictures of it. It's
Yeah,
it's
it
nice.
looks nice. And you actually, like, dug this one into the ground a little bit.
Yeah, and I used it today. And the house didn't blow up, so I know I didn't build it on top of our gas line, so that's good.
Well, that's good.
There's also the people who lived here before us had like a play like gym or whatever you call it for kids,
Yeah.
like swings and a slide and a sand pit. And when they moved, they took everything but the fucking sand pit. So we had to dig that out of the ground and burn it and dig all the sand out of it. Just a pain in the ass, but we got it all done. We were trying to get it done before our party, and we did, which is amazing. Other than that, as some of you may or may not know, I don't remember if I don't think did I bring it up last time we podcasted? Yeah.
Mhm.
My dog died, and I got her ashes back yesterday. So she's back home with us where she belongs.
Yeah.
How about you, bud? How was your week?
It was pretty good. I went and saw Thor. Just did a me time solo movie, which I love doing. Also on Thursday, me and the girlfriend.
Whoa!
It's just
Back that up.
it's
Back
just-
it up. Back it up.
We still haven't had that official talk, but it's just easier to say that instead of, oh yeah, the girl that I've been dating consistently and exclusively for the past several months. Yeah.
She's your girlfriend.
Yeah. We went and in the next town over there they do like live music on the river. So we went and did that, which was pretty cool. It was a local-ish band that just does like glam metal, like Metallica, Iron Maiden, like 80s and 90s metal.
This is music.
Exactly. They missed a huge opportunity by not playing Master of Puppets, considering
Yeah,
the
what
fact
the
that the
hell?
last song that they played was Metallica. But
Oh, that's lame.
that made it worse. I was
Yeah.
like, whatever. Yeah, and then hung out with some of her friends last night, or Saturday, I guess, because by the time you guys hear this, it won't be last night anymore. Which was cool. It was a good time.
Yeah.
A really relaxing week for me.
We'll get into that Metallica talking, the conversation we just had, the Metallica thing. Like Chad said in the beginning of this, there's just too much right now. If we were to cover everything in the nerd realm that's happening right now, we'd be on here for like 4 hours. So
Yeah.
we will cover Stranger Things season finale, The Boys season finale, and stuff like that in the coming week. But right now, Thor just released, and we really wanted to talk about that. Miss Marvel just came out. We want to talk about that, so that's the only reason we're just keeping it short for you guys.
Yeah.
But we'll
So,
get there. We'll get it
yeah.
all covered.
And along those lines, to not waste a ton of time, we're just going to go ahead and jump right into sponsor number one, unless you have anything else that you want to bring up before we do so.
Nope, get it,
All
girl.
right. Yes. So we are sponsored by Raise Energy Drinks. As you guys have heard us talk about it for over a year now, fantastic energy drinks. 0 calories, 0 sugar, 0 crash. So
I
much.
almost did it. I stopped myself.
It's a pickled habanero card. Uh, but yeah, it's absolutely delicious, and so much more than just energy drinks now. So listen up, learn how to save 15%. We'll be right back with you to talk about Miss Marvel. What's up, nerds? I wanted to take a minute and talk to you about Raise Energy, an incredible energy drink that provides max energy with 0 crash. Raise Energy takes a giant leap of faith with instilling a high-quality formula to bring a powerful, yet sustained, energetic experience to help you push your workouts and focus to the next level. Perfect for anyone at any time, empowered by their Refresh formula technology, Raise Energy delivers a performance-enhancing energy drink that aids in multiple different categories that include targeted focus, better recovery time, improved clean energy levels, and a boost in stamina and hydration. But most importantly, every can of Raise Energy has absolutely 0 calories, 0 sugar, and 0 carbohydrates to give you a smarter and healthier option. So don't settle for an energy drink that contains more sugar and carbohydrates than you can count. Instead, head over to repsports.com. That's REPPSPORTS.com and use the promo code NERDPODCAST at checkout for 15% off your order. Or if you don't know what you want, go ahead and click the link that's in the description to get a $50 sample pack for free. All you do is you cover the cost of shipping. Again, make sure you use promo code NERDPODCAST at checkout to let them know that we sent you.
Okay, nerds, before we get into episode 5 of Miss Marvel, we are going to throw out a spoiler alert. If you haven't watched it, go check it out. Come back, listen to the episode. You got 3, 2, 1. All right, here we go. Let's see where this episode starts. Well, it's kind of cool because it's kind of a flashback, but not really a flashback. We get to see Kamala's great grandmother and the story that her grandmother has told her mom and her since they were kids, which is kind of what causes a little bit of a rift between Kamala and her mom, is that her grandmother sounds crazy, but she's not.
Yeah. No, she is not. And I mean, this episode does kind of deal with some time travel, and we'll explain a little bit more into that. But like Kamala is actually there.
Yeah.
And gets a chance to interact with her great grandmother Aisha, as well as her grandmother as a very young child.
Baby.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, like a toddler.
Yeah, like 3 or 4.
Yeah. Yeah.
But because of all this, we get to learn a lot more of like the dynamic as to like why the other Jinn are so upset with Aisha, really are trying to get a hold of the bangle, because this entire episode explains like how she kept it from them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is pretty cool. I don't know, where do you want to go from here? Do you just want to like cover the flashback and then?
Yeah, I think so. And then because the ending is kind of the ending of the episode is kind of like the heart of the episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, we see that her great grandmother like comes to like a small town, basically. I mean, falls in love with her great grandfather, who's handicapped. I don't know how to like properly say it without offending anybody.
He has to use a
crippled.
cane. Yeah,
Yeah, he's crippled. Yeah,
yeah. He has to use
and
a cane to walk around. And when we first are introduced to him, like he's very much like a proponent of trying to get the people, because this is in India before the
mhm,
partition, where basically all the Muslims had to leave India for their safety and go to Pakistan when the British left.
mm,
But he's trying to get people to work together to get rid of the British and have just like a sovereign nation of peace.
mhm.
And that's kind of one of the things that draws Aisha to him,
Yeah,
which is pretty cool. And
that's
then
cool.
it kind of jumps through time, uh, from when they meet to when she's
To
pregnant to just
having a
having the
baby. Yeah.
baby to then the night of the partition where
Give
they
me the baby. Sorry.
want it in my belly.
I want my baby back, baby back, baby back.
Chili's.
Baby back ribs. Austin Powers, for those of you that are too young to understand what just happened. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm
We
not.
apologize.
Well, that's Austin Powers too, the spy who shagged me.
Yeah. He
Hmm.
shagged you too?
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it.
Um, yeah,
My Uncle
so
Austin right there.
we uh I really want to talk a lot about Thor, so I'll kind of fly through this a little bit.
Okay.
We do see that the Kamala's relationship with her mom and her mom's relationship with her mom, Kamala's grandmother, is mended in this episode. We see that
Yeah.
Yeah, Kamala's grandmother isn't crazy like her mom has told Kamala all her
Right.
life.
Because the one of the big stories was that uh, Nani, as they call her,
Mhm,
Kamala's grandmother, saw and followed the stars back to her dad
mhm.
to
When
get
she
on
was
the
lost,
train.
yeah.
Yeah, so that
Mhm,
they could leave India. And everyone just thought that she was crazy. And
mhm.
it turns out that not only was she not crazy, it was actually Kamala who,
Yeah,
like,
uses her powers to
to
like create
create the
steps
stars.
for her grandmother to like step on, which if you've watched the show, her powers are like bright, like light
Crystals.
up,
Yeah.
like yeah, like I don't know, platforms basically she
Yeah.
can jump off of and whatever. So she creates steps for her grandmother to walk over the crowd of people back to her dad.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's crazy. And you have a problem with this because
The only problem that I have with it is that it directly contradicts what the MCU has already set up as time travel.
yeah. You mean to tell me that Back to the Future is a bunch of bullshit?
Yeah. Because like it's like they're like in this weird never ending time loop.
Mm,
Because Kamala wasn't born yet when this originally happened, but Kamala was there to make sure that this happened. And
the
also in Endgame, they make a point of saying that when you go into the past, that past becomes your present. So what you do in the present can't affect your actual past. It can only affect your future. And
the the difference being though is that in Endgame they were using
like
science and a
science and
time
quantum
machine,
physics and all of that,
yeah,
where this is
and magic, like ancient
ancient
magic,
from a
and yeah,
different dimension and different realm.
yeah.
So I get it that there's kind of like a cop out there. It just kind of bothered me because we're not even like 8 years past Endgame. It's not like there's been plenty of time to establish that what they spent 10 years building into,
Hmm.
4 years
Hmm.
later, where they're like, nah, that's not actually how it works. I mean, it is for like people, but like magic, no. So
Yeah,
that was my only issue with it. I did really like the episode, and I liked how
yeah.
much that it focused on actually like mending,
Hmm.
like the family ties, as well as when Kamala gets back to present time, she does inadvertently open that portal that the Jinn are trying to open,
Hmm.
and we learned in the last episode that not only is it dangerous, it will just destroy life. And we see that some of the Jinn try and go through the portal, and it kills them.
Yeah.
It like turns
Oh,
them to
it's cool.
stone, like Raiders of the Lost Ark. Like
No, they turned
instead.
into like skeletons and like crumbled,
Well,
didn't
yeah,
they?
they like turned into gemstones, and then the gems like fell off, and it was just like skeletons, and they like dropped. So
Yeah.
instead of like melting faces, it's like
Yeah.
crystals.
Yeah. It was very and I'm only throwing this out there because of Michael, who we had on our show. It was very Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Like like when a vampire would get stabbed on that show, they would like all their flesh would fall off and then their bones would like turn to ash. And like
Yeah.
yeah, it was cool. It was very much like that. Um
But it was cool. We see, I mean, Kamala uses her powers to kind of rescue other people that were in the area
mm,
by like putting up, like
a barrier.
shield barrier is a better word,
Yeah.
yeah, to get them out. And she's begging Kamran's mother, who's one of the Jinn, to don't go through the portal
Yeah.
and to, go back and be with Kamran. And kind of what she does is she sacrifices herself to close the portal, but in doing so, she basically sends her power to
To
Kamran
Kamran. Yeah.
so that she can still protect him in a way.
Yeah.
So he kind of gets powers, and they look very similar to Kamala's, but we don't know to what extent. But yeah,
Also, Kamala's mom now knows that Kamala is a hero now. She's
yeah.
like, "Are
She
you telling
watched her
me
do
that
it.
you are this light lady?" Yeah, so pretty cool because like a lot of we talked about it a little bit. A lot of superhero, especially like coming of age superhero stuff, they keep their identities a secret from their family. And I mean, we're just in our first season of this show, and she's already told her mom, or well, did tell her mom, but her mom knows now that she's a hero.
Yeah.
So I'm
Which
kind of
is
interested to see how that goes. If she'll loosen the grip more or tighten it up a little bit. Like,
I'm
no, you
also
can't put yourself in danger. Yeah.
I'm also really intrigued because more so in like the comics and some other iterations, her dad knows, and they
Hmm.
keep it from her mom because her mom is very much like a helicopter parent.
Hmm.
So it's kind of interesting that they're kind of flipping it. Like, are they going to bring her dad into it, or not?
Yeah.
But I mean, overall, it was a very good episode. Wasn't as action packed considering the fact that next week is the finale.
Yeah. Bummer. It's only 6 episodes. It's gonna.
Yeah, but at the same time, I think that it's the last episode will have a lot going on in it because we see Kamran and Bruno get attacked by the Department of Damage Control, and assumingly they were kidnapped. We don't know, but they bombed the Circle Q, which is the convenience store that Bruno works at and lives above.
Yeah. Let's say lives in.
Yeah, but it was a very good episode. Kind of left on a cliffhanger, and we'll see this coming week where it goes.
And let's see like what cameo we're gonna get at the end. There's got to be one of either Monica or Captain Marvel herself. Yeah. One of them's got, or maybe Nick Fury. I don't know. There's gonna be a huge cameo because this show directly leads into the Marvels, which is a movie, like a big like MCU movie that's coming out. So
yeah,
if you think this show is like dumb and unimportant, like you're wrong. All of these shows tie into the movies like big time.
Yeah.
So
and also like if you think it's boring, you're just also dumb. It's been very enjoyable.
Like, you're also dumb. Yeah. No, it's super good, and I think there's going to be a huge cameo, probably either after credit scene or in the end of the episode, one of the two,
but or both.
I don't know who it's going to be.
One cameo towards the end of the episode, and then probably a couple more cameos in credit scene would be my guess.
Be sweet.
Yeah.
I assume it'll be something like Monica being like, "Hey, like we need you," or something
Yeah.
like that for this reason, and then maybe you won't see Carol
Yeah.
Danvers. Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry, Carol Danvers is also the name of Supergirl's sister. So it I confused myself. I'm like, shit, did I say the wrong thing? Yeah. And so maybe you won't actually see her, but maybe we'll see like the room light up or something, kind of how like the ship lit up in Endgame when she comes to save Tony, and then credits. And you
Yeah.
won't actually see her, but you'll know what it is.
Yeah.
Something like that would be really dope.
That would be really cool. I'm
Yeah.
excited. I've really enjoyed the show. It's been a
Hmm.
lot of fun. And it's cool because Miss Marvel, even in the comics, is a very new character. She
Hmm.
wasn't even introduced until, what, 2005, 2008, something like that. So it's awesome that she's already becoming like a big part of the MCU
Hmm. Yeah,
because
she's a lot of fun.
she's a
I
kick-ass character.
Playing as her in the Avengers game is a lot of fun too.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. It's cool. But yeah, moving on. We're just gonna go into sponsor number two.
Oh,
Oh, sponsor number two is Crybaby Craig's hot sauce. It's a pickled habanero garlic hot sauce that goes on practically anything. Listen
also
up and we'll
zero
tell you more
calories.
about it. Also, 0 calories. Gluten free? Is it gluten
Gluten
free?
free and vegan.
And vegan. There you go.
Oh.
Listen up.
Hey, you nerds. Do you love spice? Supporting small businesses? What about enhancing the flavor of your favorite foods? If you said yes to any of those, our good friends over at Crybaby Craig's have the perfect solution for you. Crybaby Craig's is a pickled habanero and garlic hot sauce that goes perfectly with your favorite foods, adding the perfect amount of spice and enhancing the flavor of everything it touches. Started in Minneapolis by Craig back in 2012, Crybaby Craig's has become a Minneapolis and Minnesota staple in the sauce world. So head over to crybabycraigs.com and order yours today. All right, friends. For the remainder of this episode, we really want to dive into Thor: Love and Thunder. It came out last Friday. It's in theaters still because it's not a bad movie, so it wasn't pulled immediately. uh, no, it's a very good movie, but before we start talking about it, here's your spoiler alert. Again, in case you watched Miss Marvel, but not this yet. That's enough time. We drowned on. Your fault if we ruin anything now. Right. Uh, Jake, before we actually start breaking down, what's your first opinion on this movie?
Damn it. Oh, I was totally gonna try to do that Jim Carrey from Liar Liar when he gets pulled over for speeding. He's like, but I couldn't do it. So
I was going 55 and a 30. I didn't signal my intention to change lanes. I changed lanes in the middle of an intersection. I did not stop at that stop sign, and for speeding.
yeah,
Anything
is that
else?
everything, sir?
I also have 37 unpaid parking tickets.
Wow, good job. Anyways, I here's the thing. Did I like the movie? Short answer is yes, I liked the movie. It was good.
Yeah.
The little bit longer of an answer, I won't take too much time on it, is it kind of annoyed me. Uh,
It's
they make
hurtful to say because
yeah,
I love Thor.
yeah. They very much make Thor, if you guys have watched What If, uh, that version of Thor.
Super bro Thor.
He's kind of a douche. For a while. It didn't really feel like a Thor movie to me until like the final act.
Mm-hmm.
And it was still good. I still enjoyed the beginning and middle and whatever. I was like, oh, this is funny, it's good, blah blah blah. But it didn't feel like a Thor movie to me until like the end of the movie. And I was like, oh, there it is. and then the movie's over, and you're like, oh, well, I'll just go fuck myself.
Mahalo.
So that's where I was with it. What about you? Tell me your opinions.
I very much agree with that. I really enjoyed the film. It is full Taika Waititi for
Yeah.
most of the film. And don't get me wrong, I love that. I love Taika Waititi. I don't think I've seen anything that he's been behind that I didn't enjoy.
Except for yourself. Sorry.
Well, I don't think I'd be that mad. Because if he picks me, that means I'm in line with Rita Ora.
He's your Mjolnir.
Jonathan?
I think you said it. I think you said it. I think you said it best. Is that Ragnarok was the perfect split between a Taika movie, and a Thor movie. It was funny, but the heart was still there, and
from start to finish.
Yeah, and this movie was very, very. It was like a 70-30. It was Taika movie, funny, and like a little over the top, and then 30% being that the final act of the movie being like, that's the Thor movie I was waiting for this whole time.
Because even in that end, like the ending battle or the end act, it's still chock full of humor and funny and wit, like Ragnarok was as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's just
there was Thor's locked in a cage.
Yeah.
I mean, it was.
See, I know you have claim to the throne because you're the firstborn, but like I can't let you do that because you're just the worst. When he's talking to Hela,
there was just like a lack of Thor. Which is weird to say because Hemsworth is in the movie full through, but there was like a lack of Thor in the movie. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah,
it was weird. He just wasn't the same Thor that we've had throughout. And I know that like there's trauma and whatnot, but it just didn't
Endgame
feel like
took care of a lot of that. And I mean the movie, other than the opening scene, which is Gore's origin, how he becomes the God Butcher, which was awesome.
That was dope. I was like, right away when that opening scene, I'm like, sick. This is gonna be. And I'm not shitting on this movie. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It just wasn't what I expected. But that opening scene between Gore, and his daughter, and then the first god that he kills.
Yeah, the god of light, I think it was.
I was like, holy fuck, dude. I was like, this is gonna be dope.
Yeah.
And then it fell off for the majority of the movie after that, in my opinion. Yeah.
It tried to be funny the entire time.
Like, too funny. Yeah. And I love Taika for that in other movies.
Yeah.
That works for him fantastically. But when you're given, and again, like Ragnarok was amazing. It was the perfect, like, mixture of the two. But he went, like, your word, I'm quoting you, he went full Taika in this movie. And
everybody knows you don't go full Taika.
It was too much. It was too much funny and not enough Thor.
Yeah.
And when I say Thor, I mean like the heart of like a Thor movie. He's like, you know what I mean? And
still grounded as a hero, still
like a conflicted hero. And like we get that, but he's just like kind of a twat about it. I don't know. Like, you talk.
No,
I feel weird. I'm just rambling on right now.
No, I completely agree with that because, like, that's just it. Is even though the character development for Thor was definitely present in this film, it definitely takes like front and center stage of him like coming to terms with the fact that he still needs to be a leader, still needs to be a hero. He's not the king of Asgard. Has to deal with the conflict of the fact that Mjolnir is back, Jonathan, which got a little weird with the Mjolnir and Stormbreaker esque uh, conflict, I guess. They're suddenly very sentient compared to just kind of like awesome tools.
Like there's like a weird like con the
Stormbreaker is like a jealous girlfriend.
yeah, because Thor. Well, uh, we gotta obviously Jane is back. We know that Natalie Portman's back as
And her story arc
Jane
was fucking
Foster.
awesome.
Hers was better than Thor. That makes me so annoyed. Like her origin story and like her like you said story arc in this movie is better than Thor's, and that kind of annoyed me because it's a Thor movie.
Well, but
Uh,
she's Thor.
she is, yeah, the mighty Thor. But like, I actually, again, you and I talked about this. I thought I was not going to be a big fan of her story arc in this movie, but the way they did it was awesome. I actually enjoyed it more than I liked Thor's story arc in this movie. Um,
Yeah.
it was cool. I thought she was gonna be kind of bratty and be like, "I have powers now," like blah blah blah, and be kind of a like bitch. But she was actually really funny. She's like, explaining like, "This is my first bad guy. I'm super excited. Like, what do you think I should do?" Catchphrase should be like, "Eat my hammer, bam," or like, should it be,
Yeah.
like, and he's like, "Those are all good." It took me a very long time to get to my, he's like, I usually go with, you know,
This ends
that's
now.
yeah, yeah. And she's like, "Oh, that's so good." And he's like, "Yeah, I thought a long time about it." Like, it was really funny. Like,
And they
I
had
actually
great. Sorry, not to cut you off.
No, no, you're good.
Great chemistry. Literally, almost every single character that was prevalent through from start to finish had really good character development from start to
Mm.
finish. I wish they would have done more with King Valkyrie because she's an awesome character, and I feel like she's just consistently downplayed as like backup.
I think she was in Ragnarok. She was baller as fuck,
Yeah,
and then since then she's been downplayed for sure. Yeah.
yeah. And so like on paper, this movie should have been fantastic through and through. Funny, cool fight scenes, good character development, good
Chris
chemistry.
Hemsworth's butt.
Yeah. Uh, also, the first full frontal ever. I'm just kidding. You don't see any Hemsworth dong. Um,
Yeah, maybe he tucked it back and we just didn't notice.
just a little turtle head poking. No, but
Ace
like,
Ventura.
uh, but
That's not what I was talking about.
climbing through the rhino butt.
No,
Oh,
in the first Ace Ventura movie, he finds out that the girl is actually a man, and he pantses her in front of like the entire police force, and
oh, right.
there's nothing there, and he's like, "Oh shit, I fucked up," and then he's like, "Wait a minute," and he flips her around, and then it's sticking through the back. And when I was a little kid, I didn't get that, and I thought she shit herself. And then when I got older, I was like, "Oh, that's her penis."
That's a penis. That's a penis. No, but to get back on track, like on paper, all these elements were there, and they were done really well,
Mhm.
but they didn't blend. So the movie felt like it wasn't complete.
It was a great fucking movie.
Oh, it was really
do not
enjoyable.
misunderstand us. I enjoyed it so much. It just goes it's 70-30. It's 70% Taika and then it's 30% Thor.
Yeah,
In my the final act you're like there's the Thor movie I was
yeah.
here for, you know. Uh, but
Also, Christian Bale as Gore was incredible. I
he's
know a lot of people
creepy,
were mad because he didn't look like the comic accurate,
including
including us.
us.
Yeah,
He was creepy.
terrifying at moments,
Real
just
creepy.
maniacal. Yeah, it was really good. I mean, who doesn't love Christian Bale? And to see him play a villain that's that like twisted and far gone was so great.
You know what one of the funniest things to me is there's an old interview when he was obviously Batman and the Marvel movies were doing very well. And in an interview, someone asked him like, "What do you think about this? Do you think?" And he was like, "Pfft, Marvel, what? Like, whatever. Marvel, stupid." Like he completely blew Marvel off.
Hmm.
And then when Taika sent the script to Christian Bale and asked him about it, like, "Hey, like, what do you think about this? Have you seen any of the movies?" And Christian Bale's response was, "I saw the one where the big purple guy was looking, or big purple bloke, because he's from Wales.
Yeah.
Uh, big purple bloke was looking for some stones or something."
Yeah.
And like, so, and now he's in the movie, which I thought was really funny because uh a lot of actors like really put themselves into their characters, so especially for comic book roles, and they'll go and like read the comics and like
Yeah.
to get in character. And Christian Bale is like, "Nah, I ain't gonna do that."
Yeah.
Which is funny because I'm pretty sure he did that for Batman, but
Yeah.
and even in an interview said like he didn't give a shit about Marvel, and then now he's in a Marvel movie. I just think it's an interesting fact. I love Christian Bale, but I thought it was kind of funny.
No, it definitely is, but also at the same time, I mean, he's playing a villain in one film. You know, like how much should he put himself into it? Also, I think that's why they didn't go as heavy on like the prosthetics to be as comic accurate. They just
Yeah.
let him bring the character to life through performance instead of visuals, and it definitely worked.
Oh, it worked. Oh yeah, it
Yeah.
definitely worked.
Because he has the Necro Sword, which has the ability to actually kill gods. He also controls like a realm of like shadow monsters. Which,
Shadows in general, like he
yeah,
can like disappear into them and pop up from them and create things from them.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was cool, but the monsters were a bit underwhelming, if you ask me.
Yeah. There wasn't a lot of detail on the monsters. It was very much
Which
like
makes sense
the
because they're like shadows, but
I thought it was very Eternals,
of the deviants,
the Deviants. Yeah, that's what it reminded me of.
they
It
were
was just kind of
there to like drive a. Well, the deviants were basically a part of the Eternals to drive the trailers,
it was just kind of meh
like
to
a
me.
like a false villain sort of thing.
The shadow. I think they should have not done the shadow creatures at all, and just had Gore be like way more powerful than they made him. Because
Yeah,
like even in the like the beginning fight scenes with Gore and Thor, uh, like Thor like kind of whips his ass a little bit. You know what
yeah,
I
but
mean?
Gore
Like,
also like tosses him around, like
yeah,
almost
but he
stabs him with the Necro Sword, like has it to his
yeah,
throat.
yeah, but he uses like the shadow creatures, and that's more to my point is that they should have made the shadow creatures not a thing, and then just made Gore more powerful. I think is what they should have done,
Yeah, no, I
rather
can
than
see
like
that.
using the creatures to like aid him. I thought, yeah, whatever.
I, I
But
I
they,
get what you're saying. Yeah,
but then again, my favorite scene in the entire movie is Thor tells Gore like captures all these kids from New Asgard, and Thor goes to rescue them, and he's like, "You guys are all Asgardian now," and they're like, "I'm not Asgardian," and he's like, "You're all Asgardian right now in this moment." He's like,
yeah,
"Go grab a weapon," blah blah blah, and he gives the same speech that his dad gave to Mjolnir, Jonathan, uh, you know, to whoever shall be worthy, possess the power of Thor, and all the weapons that the kids have, all the kids' eyes light up, and they all possess the power of Thor, and they fight the shadow creatures, it was pretty fucking cool. I
it
was
was
really impressed with
that
that.
was the right blend of Thor and Taika right there because it's
And that was
funny.
the final act of the movie.
Yeah,
So I mean, that's where it like came into
it was
be
funny
like a
and
cool movie.
badass because I mean, literally, one of the kids, their weapon was just their stuffed rabbit,
Yeah,
but they're like spinning it around, like showing the
yeah,
rabbit to the shadow creatures and lightning shooting out of the rabbit's
yeah,
eyes. It's just funny,
yeah. But it
but
was
it was
awesome. I
good.
mean, yeah,
Yeah,
you got a bunch of little kids just kicking the shit out of monsters. It was dope.
yeah.
Yeah. That
Oh,
part was really cool. And that again, that was like the final act of the movie. So like that's where you get your Thor movie is like, yeah, it was
yeah,
cool. Um, well, we know and from comics, and you and I have been speculating about it for a while that Jane was going to die,
yeah. Kick it.
and she does. She kicks it old school for sure.
Yeah.
Uh, but
In West Philadelphia, born in what? No, not that kind of old school.
it was they they did a they d- I'll give Taika that for sure is that he did a really good job with Jane's again like you said her story arc was better. It
Yeah,
was good. It was done really well. Yeah. So
she is
she has
battling cancer,
cancer.
and because she's a scientist. She's doing all sorts of research as to how to like combat because it's a terminal diagnosis. Stage
Hmm.
4, and she basically gives up on science and starts reading, about mythology, and comes to a page where it says, Mjolnir like gives strength and health to those that are able to
Well,
wield it.
she Mjolnir calls to her through the book.
Yeah,
Like while she's sitting there, she hears it and then she looks over and sees the book, then flips it open and realizes like Mjolnir says, I can, what not I can, but
I, I, Sir Jonathan, can give you the
uh
power,
yeah, so she goes and basically wields Mjolnir.
which
Um
is cool because it's Mjolnir's been shattered,
mhm.
and it she uses that to her ability, which is cool because also in the comics, like when Jane Foster is the mighty Thor with Mjolnir, she's a lot more graceful and more like in tune with Mjolnir to where it's graceful. Like she can maneuver it and use Mjolnir in ways that Thor never did. He used
Mhm.
Mjolnir as very much like a blunt instrument or to fly and stuff like that. But she'll throw Mjolnir and it'll break into the pieces again, and each individual piece will take out a different enemy. It's coming back. Even when she's fighting and jumping over uh, like enemies, it's very fluid, which is very
Mhm.
cool that they brought that detail in about her because in the comics
Yeah.
she's a much more graceful Thor.
Yeah. But unfortunately, in the comics, I don't think they do it the same way, but in the comics, basically, the Mjolnir is killing her faster. In the which again in the movie is really cool. The detail that they put in there is basically that Mjolnir is blocking the chemo from
Attacking the cancer.
letting her heal from the cancer.
Yeah.
In the comics, I think the Mjolnir is poisoning her rather than.
I thought it was that it doesn't get rid of the cancer, but it heals her when she's obviously as Thor, and then when she
Mhm.
sets down the hammer and goes back to Jane Foster, then the cancer comes back more aggressive each time.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah.
like speeding up the process of the
Yeah.
cancer. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. So, and it. Sorry for all of you who can hear my fucking dog barking.
It's a puppy. She's fine.
Yeah, I assume Nicole went to get food and put her in her kennel, and she is just going ape shit up there. So, sorry.
It's a puppy. That's what happens.
Yeah.
Um, but the way that they do Jane Foster's story is really great, and because of that, like Thor doesn't want to bring her with to the Shadow Realm to fight Gore, and Jane shows up kind of like
Well,
fourth
before
quarter.
that, hold on.
Okay.
What I like about that scene is that he explains to her like, "Hey, I want to have a life with you, and if you pick up that hammer again, you're gonna die. Uh,
Yeah.
but it's your choice. If you want to go with me, you can come with me. I won't." Like, I kind of like that he like put that on her rather than be like, "No, you're not coming with." Like
Right.
that masculinity thing. Like, "No, you're not coming." He's like, "It's up to you. If you want to come, let's do it. If not, but if you want to have a life with me, stay here. Let the what does he call it? Magic, like
Yeah.
elixirs, like do their magic or whatever. And and she originally lets him go off on his own, but he gets fucking stomped,
Yeah.
and she can feel it. So she goes.
And it was, I mean, the final battle was awesome. It was a lot of fun. It was really, really well done.
Hmm.
And I forgot where I was going with that. Oh, but like they finally confess their love for each other, which is a little like tugging at the heartstrings because you know that because she's there, that's the furthest it's going to go. It's just that they at least know that even after all this time, you know,
Hmm.
uh, 7 years, 8 months, whatever, that they're, still for
Yeah.
each other. Um, yeah, that's. I don't remember where I was going past
Right
that.
on. Right
I
on.
lost my place in the notes, but
You said the final act in the movie we were talking about.
right,
No,
and then uh,
no.
no, basically Stormbreaker is used to open a portal so that Gore can go see Eternity, which is one of the it's the center of the universe.
Yeah,
Basically, the Big Bang came from Eternity,
yeah,
and it said that whoever reaches Eternity first can ask for anything, and it'll be granted to them.
yeah.
So Gore is going there to kill all gods, but then there's a Martha moment.
Well, the sword is poisoning Gore.
Yeah,
The whole movie. So once they, which is actually kind of dope. It's kind of Jane's like farewell to the MCU. Spoiler alert, which we already gave you. Uh, is that they break? She comes to Thor's aid while he's fighting Gore, and when they finally break the sword and get the sword away from Gore, Jane uses Mjolnir to break apart and capture part of the sword, and then she calls on the lightning and destroys it. But also in doing so, basically condemns herself to death. And
yeah,
Gore, now not being poisoned by the sword anymore, uh, there's a very, like you said, touching moment where Thor is like, "Make your wish. I don't give a shit, man. Like, why would I spend my final moments with her, with you? Like, I'm gonna
yeah,
go be with her. You can bring your daughter back, or you can be a douchebag. Like, what's it gonna be? I
yeah.
don't
Are
care.
you gonna
I'm
choose
gonna
death
go."
or are you gonna choose love?
Yeah.
Because today I'm
And
choosing love.
yeah, and then Gore kind of, like you said, Martha moment is like, "Oh, I didn't mean to kill all those people. Please take my daughter and take care of her." And
Yeah,
yeah,
he's like, but if I bring back my daughter, she'll be alone. And Jane is like, she won't be alone. And like looks at Thor, and even though Gore's been trying to kill Thor for however, he's like, you can raise my daughter.
yeah, dope.
Okay, cool.
Problem solving.
But
Uh, but it is actually kind of dope. I mean, the final act, not the final act, the final scenes of the movie are Thor with Gore's daughter, which is Chris Hemsworth's daughter in real life.
yeah,
Um,
India Rose Hemsworth.
and she has basically given Mjolnir a makeover,
Yeah,
and she herself is the one wielding Stormbreaker,
Stormbreaker.
which is pretty cool. Not that it wasn't the other way around.
Yeah,
Uh, and it kind of cuts back to Korg like telling the story, and he's like blah blah blah, but they know them as Love and Thunder, and it shows like Thor and uh Gore's daughter like attacking some bad guys that were
yeah.
trying to kill some people. It was sweet.
And
Like I
New
said, the
Asgard
ending of the movie is great.
built a shrine to Jane
Jane,
Foster as the
yeah,
Mighty Thor too, which is cool. I
yeah.
mean, like we said, overall, this movie is very good.
You do end credit scene number one. I'll do end credit scene number two.
what was the order of them again?
Do you
Uh,
want me to?
you just go first.
All right, I'll do the. All right, so the first end credit scene is that Thor did not kill Zeus like he thought he did, because he basically throws Zeus's own thunderbolt through Zeus's chest. But he's still alive and he's kind of talking to someone who's out of frame that you don't see. And then he basically, Russell Crowe's character as Zeus is like, "Do you understand what I'm saying?" And then they pan out. Oh, or he says, "Do you understand what I'm saying, Hercules?" Which is Zeus's son, obviously. And they pan out and show Hercules is like, "I hear you, father." And it's fucking the dude from Ted Lasso, which is dope.
Brett Goldstein.
Yeah. And he beefed the fuck up, which I'm really curious how they're going to explain that in the next season of Ted Lasso. Like, he's like twice the size that he was. It's crazy.
He's no longer built like a soccer player.
So that should be interesting. But yeah, that was in credit scene number 1.
Right. Thank you for telling me which the order that they went in. The second end credit scene is Jane Foster being welcomed at the gates of Valhalla, which is cool because she died in battle.
Mm-hmm.
And Heimdall is there to greet her, which it was cool to see Idris Elba again, but you mentioned to me that it would have been a lot cooler if it was Frigga that was there to greet her, because Jane Foster not only met her, but Frigga basically died to protect Jane Foster, so it would have been a cool
It just would have been more meaningful, in my opinion.
I agree with that.
Frida is Thor's mom, for those of you who didn't know. But yeah.
Is it Frida or is it Frigga?
Frigga, isn't it?
Okay,
Frigga, yeah. Played by Renee Russo. And I just think, because she gave her life to protect Jane, I thought it would have been way more meaningful to have her being the one welcoming her to Valhalla. But Jane is in Valhalla, which is cool. Yeah. That's Thor.
That's that. And it says Thor will return.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Hemsworth said he's not done. He's like, if they tell me I'm done, I'm done. But I'm not done.
Yeah.
If they have more parts for me, I'm gonna keep playing it. So
yeah. And I'm sure that because we completely blew past the fact that the Guardians of the Galaxy are there at the beginning of the movie.
No, we talked about it.
Yeah, roughly. We didn't talk about the broomstick scene, which was hilarious, but I'm sure that he'll pop up in Guardians 3, at least for a little bit, because they're supposed to kind of be around the same time, are they not? I think. Yeah. I don't know. But anyway,
I assume like Guardians 3 will be like from this, like when they depart from Thor.
Oh.
Because they're like, oh my god, there's these distressing signals we got to get to, and then Thor's like, well, I got to go save my friend. So I assume Guardians will be like them going to that distress signal that they were seeing. Maybe I'm wrong, but
we'll find out.
Yeah.
Anyways, we did spend a lot of time on Thor, but hopefully it wasn't too long for you guys. Go see the movie if you haven't. If you listen this far, that's your fault. But it is very enjoyable. I hope that we didn't come across as talking too much crap about it, because we had issues with it, but it was so good. Yeah, loved it. Yeah. But yeah, so we are going to go ahead and close out the episode.
But before we do, we are going to close out this episode, friends. You know the spiel. Give us your money and...
Give us your money. We love you. We do have our new website. It's been up for about a month now, but also our web store is now attached to it. We're in the process of still getting a few more items added to it from our original web store. But yeah, check that out. Find us on Patreon if you like what we're doing. You can get some exclusive merch there, as well as some behind the scenes. We now have a Discord server as well instead of a GroupMe, because that's easier. All that. We love you. Thank you for sticking around for the past 18 months. We've got more coming for you. And this has been the All Things Nerd Podcast.